What's going on, guys? How's the volume, guys? Any echo? All right, guys. It is Philmington, and we are here for a live auction. Gonna switch it up a little bit, and all the information should be in the banner below. So we're gonna do $4 flat shipping. These are all gonna be auctions, no fixed prices. PayPal, friends and family, or goods and services is okay. Email address is in the banner. If you win something, feel free to pay immediately or reach out to me at the end of the auction for an invoice or whatever. So thank you guys for joining. This will be interactive. If you guys don't want to bid, then that's fine. I just figured I haven't done one of these in almost a full year, so why not? Why not do one today? So first card is going to be this Shohei Ohtani Topps Chrome SGC 9.5. Let's start the bidding at $5. And while this gets started, Pepino Man, myself, and Eloy the Goat, we're going to be hosting a very fun get-together at the National. And we do have the details all set. And it's going to be Friday, July 30th, 8 o'clock at Lowe's. That's a Lowe's Hotel, and it's going to be right at the bar. So if you're subscribed, if you're not subscribed, if you're just watching because you heard about my channel from Hobby Palooza, that's fine. If you're a watcher, a creator, if you're a troll, we don't care. You're all invited. So that should be a pretty good time. And we did this a couple years ago, and the turnout was pretty unreal. What's going on, Eric? All right, Mr. Dub, I'll fix that. You should be all set, Mr. Dub. Let me try to fix this camera angle here. Got some liquor cabinet in the background that is not wallpaper. $40 on the Ohtani. $50 from Jay. So who else is attending the National? I know those back pages is, I believe, Four Leaf's going to be there. What's going on, Eric? I know Prospects Are Us. Adam is not going to be there. Jeff Airtime's not going to be there. What's going on, Jeff? All right, looks like we got about 75 people watching. That is good. 105 on the Shohei. This is a hot card right now, guys. Get in on the ground floor. What's going on, Big Smooth? Zigzag Collector. Thanks, Zigzag Collector. I appreciate it. I believe Zigzag is one of the trolls with a play on Ziggy No. So Ziggy No should feel very, very privileged to have at least one troll. But I think I've heard 2 or 3 trolls named after him. But some of the stuff he says is pretty witty. So we'll let him stick around here. We're not going to block or mute anything he says unless it's like some sort of a auto filter situation. What's going on, Ray? Ray's going to the National. I believe he missed the last one, I think. What's up, Pack to the Future? Abel should be there again. All right, we got $105 on the SGC 9.5 Ohtani. I'm going to do the official count in the chat. That'll be the golden source. What's going on, Rage? What's up, Jake? What's going on, Storms Breaks? At the National, there's I have to think about this a little bit more, but there's a few cards that have, well, it kind of fits pretty much every card. A lot of cards, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, or if it's modern or ultra modern. There's a lot of stuff that's down over 50%. So I'm targeting some staple cards, though, rookie cards. You could say they are base cards, but they are not ultra modern. Some are not baseball. They're sort of like iconic type cards of the last 40 years. I know that doesn't really give up that much information, but I'm going to try to see if I can find some of those with pops between 600 and 2,500 in that range. All right, so looks like no bid. So we're at 105 still, right? I believe $105 for this Ohtani. Going twice. All right, that is sold. And Mr. Dub, you can collect that information. I'm sure you're watching. Card number 1 down. Next up, it wouldn't be a Philmington auction if I didn't bring out one of these. Topps Chrome Update, HMT 55, Soto, PSA 10. What's going on, Tyler? Yeah, and something you also have to think about, too, is even though Trout's injured, when things like Acuna's injury happens, a lot of people tend to move that money into the more proven, what some would call beta of the modern sports card market. Obviously, Trout isn't completely safe, so to call him beta might be a little incorrect. But with regards to the modern players, a lot of the times there's like a cyclical movement of money moving from the risky guys to Trout. It happens often, so who knows? Maybe some more money gets put back towards Trout with the Acuna injury. What's going on, Zippy? Nah. All right, so he's another one of the Ziggy No avatar trolls. But let's not ban him. Every man deserves to be heard. So what's going on, Breaker Culture? He agrees. $150 on the Soto. These are selling for north of 400 the preseason, but Soto hasn't done that well. Somehow got named to the All-Star game because of sheer votes. What's going on, Jesse? Thanks for joining. Lord Cardboard, thank you for joining, Jason. Adam D. Caleb Sports Cards. All right, Eloy sent you. That's nice. That's awesome. All right, Jay for 180. Indeed, Pack to the Future. What's going on, Jeremy? How you doing? So I'm actually going to be featured on Jeremy's Sports Card Live, not as the main guest, but as the after hours guest, and that is going to be, I believe, Friday, July 24th. So I think that's not till about 11 p.m. Eastern time, but I'm excited for that, and that's going to be following the Dr. James Beckett episode. So if you haven't already subscribed to Sports Cards Live, please do. He has a long list of very, very established guests, and he always makes things entertaining, always asks the right questions. He's got the right amount of provocativeness, balances that with professionalism. So good stuff. All right, where are we at? 180 on Soto. Let's start the count. All right, I'm also a main guest. Good to hear. Thanks, Jeremy. What's going on, Steve Elmore? Super guest. Tyler, future market of wax. Tough to answer that succinctly, but I do think that there's a decent amount of unopened supply that's either in inventories or on the shelves, or it's just out there for the last couple of years. Anything that came out maybe after COVID, after printing presses started to crank at 100% capacity again, and basically I could see there being some good deals at the National, but I could see those deals being limited to last year and a half's worth of wax. So with baseball, it's Series 1, it's Series 2, it's some of the products from last year even. Definitely a ton of retail on the basketball and football sides out there, I think. Everybody knows that there was a ton of select printed for football. Something I look at is just like Chronicles basketball, Zion's year. It hasn't moved in price basically in, I don't know, like 8-9 months since release. On the secondary market prices haven't moved. So it just goes to show you like how much has been out there, and breakers can't get through it because there's so much new product that's piled on top of it that, that gets rotated out. So but I do think that wax is still a pretty safe investment for most years. And it's actually quite underlooked right now, I think, because the influencers, the content creators, there's only so many that actually focus on that segment of the market. I do know that it's in Card Ladder, I believe money market movers too, but there's not that many wax investors out there, not nearly as many as there should be. All right, where are we? Are we still at 180-ish? 185, Adam D? All right, zigzag collectors. I think both tools are good. I think it depends on the use case. Don't really want to get too much into that now, but they're for different types of people, and some are better with different sports, different eras as well. But I do think if you subscribe to both and had full access to both of those tools, it would be in your best interest to use both. You might favor one over the other, but I think both have their place. I haven't used any of the other tools like Card Hedger yet, or I do have Card Genie because I wanted to have access to their indices, which I thought was cool. But and there's that other one too, and I haven't used Slab Stocks' tool either. Card Ladder is a little bit cheaper. You could argue that it's not as feature rich, but again, I just don't want to really get into the differences, the functionalities and capabilities. Because it would take a full episode, and I've got to focus on these things. All right, so we got Vlad Guerrero, SP. PSA 9. No number. That is true, Pepino Man. By the way, for those of you that didn't join at the beginning, myself, Pepino Man, Eloy, the GOAT, it is official. We are hosting a get-together at the National on Friday. That's Friday, July 30th. It's going to be at Lowe's Hotel. That's one of the 5 to 8 hotels that's within a half-mile walking distance from the convention center and from all those other hotels. We're just in a crowd over by the bar. We did it before a couple of years ago. It worked out. There's no COVID restrictions. The restaurants just reopened. So we're just going to do that again. And that's going to be Friday night. So it's not going to be the same night as Card Collector 2's trade night. It's probably going to be other competing events. And you don't have to show up right at 8. We're probably going to be there till around midnight. Should be a good time. I think we had about 60 or 70 content creators there last time. But this time, if you're just a watcher, if you're a creator, again, if you're a troll, if you found this link from the Hobby Palooza website, then feel free to come. You're invited. And basically, the community's changed a lot. Before, it was a lot of collectors. I'm not really a collector. If you asked a collector if I was a collector, they'd say I wasn't a collector. So what I'm trying to get at is investors, flippers, every type of persona, whatever your thing is in the hobby, you're welcome to join too. All right, where are we at with the Vlad? $80 from Bink Scott. All right, what's going on, Bink? Going on, Leak 03. Lico will be there. He was at the last one. Mike O is there. Silver Jackify, baseball collector, Blue Jacket 66. All the heavy hitters from YouTube before were there. This time, we're hoping to open it up too, as Mike did as well with the Hobby Palooza. Some of the crowds that haven't really, kind of gotten together before. I feel like Mike's doing a good job bringing the worlds together. What's going on, Don? All right, that Vlad is sold. I believe that was to Bink Scott, but Mr. Dub has all that info. All right, let's make things interesting now. Let's do a vintage card. Well, actually, it's not really vintage, but to me, it's vintage. Cal Ripken Jr. rookie, off-centered. I actually pulled this myself, so pack fresh, if you will. What's going on, Travis? Yeah, you could say that there's a lot more risk than reward in buying Ohtani now, but what he's doing is pretty crazy. And this is the type of thing that could actually bring in new people to the sport of baseball, not just flipping cards, but as fans. He has a chance to put up one of the greatest single seasons that we've seen in the last 100 years. And that in itself, even if, even the fact he's 20, he just turned 27 this year, is he going to make it to the Hall of Fame? I think that's sort of secondary. I think he'd be short-sighted to just think about long-term with Ohtani. Clearly, that's definitely capping his values, his potential, is that he's breaking out at this age and that he's super injury prone, that he has twice the chance to get injured because he literally has 2 jobs. He's a hitter and a pitcher, so there's more events that could lead to an injury. And he's been, coming off Tommy John. He's just injury prone too. So, but all that aside, what we're seeing is pretty insane. But then you also have to understand that the MVP, it's already baked into his values this year. And Vegas would show that. Like, they might give you even money, if that. So don't expect for him to win MVP and for you to get a boost in values just because of that. But if he does hit like 60 home runs or something crazy like that, and if he does have the highest total WAR, which he does right now, if you add up his batting, offensive, defensive, and pitching WAR, if he keeps that up, then who knows? I don't know. I don't know what to say. We haven't seen anything like that. Don Russ will never be vintage. All right. Going once. That's pretty funny. So you could say that Vlad's situation is somewhat similar to Otani in that people are sort of they're weighing their short-term performance with longer-term outlooks of those players, and that's what's kind of keeping them below Tatis level. Even though you could argue that Otani has surpassed Tatis over the past like 7 days or whatever. But people are kind of being rational about that with Vlad. Will his body hold up? Who knows? Not saying that Acuna is not injury prone or Tatis is, and clearly they are. They've shown that. But the Vlad body thing, that's his age, him already being just a first baseman, that's something that's you just got to watch out for. But the upside for Vlad could be, Pujols type performance. So let's put that out there. All right, let's do an Acuna card. Let's keep things interesting. This is a camo parallel, second year Acuna, number to 25. This is by the time I got this graded a few months ago, it was a pop 1, actually, none higher, I believe. Or might have been a pop 2, but certainly none higher. So this is number to 25. And nobody tell no, let's not talk about the season-ending injury that happened yesterday. Let's try to catch somebody off guard and have somebody overpay for this. All right, we need some focus help. Come on. Ah, Jesus. Come on. Right. The downside for Vlad would be Prince Fielder. That's funny, John. Yeah, we're at $100 now. So the 15 and 12 and negative bids could be confusing people. More triples. Vlad actually does have around 50 percentile sprint speed this year if you're looking at his baseball savant page. But if you were to compare him with other players of the same age, yeah, probably not so good. All right, good. $100 would have been, I think, a good price for this. Oh, B Roth's at 110. Okay, thanks. $120 to B Roth. B Roth 6 will be at the National. He was actually one of the few people that I had met in person prior to the last National. One of the reasons why I only made it a 2-day trip was because I didn't really think that I'd have. I wasn't sure if I'd have enough people to like socialize with, but wow, was I wrong? Was I wrong? A lot of cool dudes. I was taken in with open arms. Yeah, Ryan Howard, he was great until he wasn't anymore. It's interesting to look at seasons like that though, where I think Howard won an MVP. Was it like 2006? And if you were if you were to assess players like they're assessed today for MVPs, it would all be based on WAR or close to WAR. And based on that, Howard wouldn't have finished in the top three probably. It would have been like Pujols and Beltran or something. So it's interesting to like apply today's geek stats in the past, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Trout's done so well, won so many MVPs, because like it kind of removes luck out of the equation. You just focus on the best players naturally. All right, let's close this one. 135 for Roth. Twice. All right, let's do an SGC 10 of Ohtani. These are selling for around like, I think, low 200s on eBay. PSA 10s are probably around high threes, maybe at this point. Topps Chrome base card, but you know, that's what they're selling for. They all have low pops, but you know, it won't stay that way. Huh. The Delta variant. That can't be a real account. No Arias and no Martes tonight. What's going on, Neo? Neo is the artist formerly known as Northeast Ohio Sports Cards. I like the branding change. His channel's kind of gone out of control now. He's already up to almost 10,000 subscribers. And he was nice enough to have me on for a guest episode last week, was it? Or 2 weeks ago? We talked baseball. So check out his channel. Subscribe to him if you haven't already. He provides a lot of, one would say, daily content, perhaps. I don't know if it's daily, but it's at least 5 times a week, I think. And he focuses a lot on market commentary across all sports. And he does a little bit with alternative cards, Marvel cards. I think he's got a Monday episode on that. So high bid is 135 on the Ohtani. Neo moves markets now. That's the difficulty when you get that big. It's like when you mention a player, this is somebody I picked up. It's tough. Just showing different players can move markets. I think even I did that with Luis Arias, and it wasn't my intent, but it just happens sometimes. All right, high bid is 150 on Ohtani, and that is the Jeremy Lee. 160. Anybody else that just joined going to the National? It's going to be a great time. It'll be my second National. First one was in 2019. I didn't really, I was in the hobby in like 2014, but I wasn't part of the whole social media thing. So even like Facebook or Blowout, I didn't really do. So I kind of missed all the, a lot of stuff the hobby had to offer. I was just kind of on eBay buying and selling stuff. Uh, 357. I mean, those are two players I like, but it's all speculative. For me, they kind of check off most of the boxes for what I look for prospects, and they're both fairly young. But at the same time, I mean, those guys are J Rod's a top 5 prospect, and Luciano at this point is a top 10 prospect, I believe. So one could argue how much juice there's left to squeeze there. What's going on, Flippin' Steve? Oh, Flipping Steve actually just started watching his channel. And he's at over 4,000 subscribers, I think. And he does something really cool. He does like this live stream from his car when he's driving to work. He does obey all signals and signs, and he's very responsible, of course, when he does that. But he actually gave away a trip to the Nationals, part of a giveaway, which is something, if you know, for the folks that have been subscribing to me for a while, you know that I actually did that. What was it? A year and a half ago, we raised money for Pepino Man. It was the second to last auction I did. And so that was supposed to be for 2020's National. So that rolled over to this year. And then we did it the year before too. But that was just a flight. And that was supposed to go to somebody else. And that person gave it to Pepino Man because they felt bad that he couldn't make it. So Pepino Man gets to go again. Twice on Ohtani. What's going on, Scotty B? Thanks for joining. Scotty B's got a great channel, growing really fast. He, like me, focuses on mostly baseball. And he's got some great stuff. And we've done 3 collaborations. So the most recent one was on my channel. We talk about if there's a case to be made for base cards being a good investment now or ever. And we've done a few like cool virtual like sports card portfolio things. So we did really buy the cards. We had like $100 budget. We bought some cards, and then we measured our performance after 30 days. So that was really fun. All right, let's switch it up a little bit here. Let's do this Manny Machado SGC 10 rookie card. Yeah, that's a tough question, Scott. They could be half of what they are now, or they could be double. Who knows? I mean, if he does what he's doing this year for another year or two, that would kind of cement him as a legend, even if he doesn't make it into the Hall of Fame. So traditionally, the way we measure sports cards and players as good and bad investments and speculative risks, it kind of goes out the window a little bit with Ohtani, I'm starting to realize. So even though he is 27 already and he is injury prone and he does have twice the chance of getting injured because he does 2 things, he has 2 jobs, what we're experiencing could be a once in a lifetime, once in a forever type thing. $900 plus. You just have to be a little careful with Ohtani's base cards right now, whether it's the first Bowman Chrome from 2018 or if it's any of his 4 flagship rookie cards from Update, or Chrome, because they all have low pops. All their PSA 10 pops are under 5,000. Actually, there's only one that's close to 5,000. So understand that those pops are going to double, if not triple, in the next 1 to 2 years, all of them, and maybe even more. So, and understand also that the ones that are the most coveted now, that could easily change because it has changed already. And just because that series 2 was before the update and it's currently selling for maybe more than the update, it wasn't like that prior. And the update always had a higher pop. So just understand that. That would be crazy if the bat down fell to 1,000. But, if the general trajectory of the market doesn't change and it's still sort of moving down for a lot of these guys, I think it's possible. All right. So it looks like we're at what, 75? All right. Going once. Yeah. Moving out of the base, you can't really argue against that being like not a prudent move. And if you want to move into something a little more higher end, maybe something you feel is undervalued, maybe some people I know, maybe I did something similar to that, and I was sitting on a similar position, a lot of base. Maybe that's a way to kind of keep a little bit of exposure just to see if something really crazy happens, although we're already witnessing craziness. Yeah, I mean, if the past 3 years, if history is any indication, it's that when Acuna is significantly cheaper than Soto, the cheaper one's a good value, and vice versa. It's kind of switched off, and now the gap's kind of been closed. So now it's interesting, and now Soto might overtake Acuna despite default. All right, next up we got a Joe Adell. This is his base. He's still struggling a little bit with his strikeouts, but he's the home runs are up, and I think overall his performance is up versus where it was at in May when the minor league started this year. Yeah, it's a good point. If this could affect Acuna for the long term, Jay. The stolen bases, home runs drive value. They're a big component, but it's not everything. It's certainly not everything, especially with somebody like Acuna. And the defense too. If he loses a step, that won't be good for his defensive metrics. And doesn't seem like that matters, but it does with like the WAR calculations and everything. And that's MVPs, that's Hall of Fame voters, WAR. It's got a lot of flaws, but that's the single most important stat. And it's theorized, it's non-standardized, it's context neutral. There's a lot of issues with it, but if you were to look at any one stat in isolation, what stat would tell a more comprehensive story about a player? I'll just say that. No Bogarts tonight, unfortunately. Show sanity. Yeah, at this point, are the Angels even really competing? No Devers tonight. Yeah, I mean, first thoughts are it could be a little sketchy. I don't know. There might be some motives, incentives that I don't know about. I just feel like it's a situation where people are reacting and might not know the full story with that. So can't really say too much about it. It is very interesting, though. It's definitely a news story to pay attention to. Devers greater than Wander. I think Wander's going to have a great career, but I also think Devers is going to have a really good career too. So it's too hard to tell, and they're going to be very different types of players, I think. Yeah, Bobby Witt. I mean, a lot of people thought he was gonna break camp with the team or come up shortly thereafter. Royals right now probably not contenders. I haven't looked at the AL Central standings in a while, but I don't know. I also haven't looked at his AA stats. He might be the type of guy where they might want to try to get some plate appearances in AAA first. Sort of a similar situation to the Wander Franco thing. The difference being that the Rays needed Wander last year. Yeah, scouts love Wander. Everything about him. The hit toll, the batting eye, plate discipline, him not really swinging, missing much. And Devers is insane. He led the majors in extra base hits with 90, I believe, in 2019, and he's pretty much on pace to get there again, I think. All right, let's close this on Adele once. Yeah, that is definitely unlike Wander, but most players have to go through adjustments at one time or another. And, no matter how great of a prospect they are, look at Vlad, look at Bryce Harper, look at Mike Trout. And Wander obviously still has a lot to prove. I think there's some critics that still question his power ceiling. They don't really know what that is yet. All right, here we got Carlos Correa. I mean, he's got to be up there, top 3 maybe, in American League MVP this year. And he's having a really great year. A lot of people kind of wrote him off, but still really young. And this is technically a short printed rookie. So the pop on this is probably, guessing, well under 1,000. Yes, I will be setting up at Shriners, my local show. It's in Wilmington, Massachusetts. And that's going to be the Rich Altman show. And that's New England's biggest show. Although they do have another one at the same venue with a different promoter. And that one's also very good. Yeah, the Astros. I get it. Very nice. All right, so Rage is saying he likes Bo Bichette, thinks he's going to be better than his pops. I'd say I probably agree with you there. But Dante Bichette was pretty good, but then he getting played during the steroid era, so... What's going on, Joseph? Thanks for joining. For those that just joined, I'm just going to throw this out for the third time. If you're going to the National, Pepino Man, myself, and Eloy the Goat, we're throwing a party. Just pretty informal, just going to congregate at a bar, which is at the Lowe's Hotel, and that's going to be Friday at 8 p.m. So that's Friday, July 30th. And that's one of the hotels that's within walking distance from the convention center. And we did this before 2 years back, and it ended up being really good. Also, before I forget, Mike Baseball Collector, the guy that's putting on Hobby Palooza, he's also throwing a party. His is going to be Thursday night. I think he's still working out the details there, but pay attention to Bench Clear Media and Mike Moynihan, who is Baseball Collector. if you're interested in that hangout. And everybody's welcome. YouTube commenters, content creators, collectors, investors, dealers, flippers, everybody's invited to that. Should be a good time. All right, Mike O is at 60. Yes, everyone is invited. The party that Mike threw a couple years ago, and it's sort of co-promoted with Blue Jacket 66 Dave, who's also a YouTube content creator, focuses on the vintage market, has an amazing collection, as well as Eric Those Back Pages, which most of you should know him. If you don't, then you probably should, at least from Blowout forums. If not, then YouTube. So they all put together a party, and they're actually, not to give you this reason to go, but Dave put together these hut packs of what appeared to be junk wax era packs, but they were filled with solid vintage stars and rookies, and I think Willie Mays cards. Probably not a Willie Mays rookie, but I think some Hank Aaron cards were in there. Like, I don't know, 8th, 9th year Hank Aaron cards. Kind of cool. Opening up a pack of 89 Donruss and you get a card of your favorite star from the 70s. Pretty cool. But yeah, our party, the one that myself, Pepino Man, and Eloy are throwing, it's going to be Friday at 8 p.m. at Lowe's Hotel. All right. The Correa is sold. So I guess now we should do that trivia question. I think there's supposed to be some sort of trivia. Looks like a lot of the other channels did that. So my question is going to be, so I share a birthday with another content creator that was part of Hobby Palooza and one of my favorite players growing up, who was a pitcher of my hometown team. So you have to guess in your answer, and multiple guesses are okay. You have to put in both of those names. So who is the content creator that I shared the birthday with? And I'll give hints too, because I'm sure you guys won't get this right away. But who's the content creator that I share the birthday with? And who is that pitcher from my favorite hometown team growing up? I'll just give a hint right away. The team was the Red Sox. It was a pitcher who's now a Hall of Famer. I'm in my 30s. He was one of my favorite players too. So it can't be just like, a schmuck pitcher that somehow just scraped his way into the Hall of Fame. And you have to guess both names in the same. You have to guess both names in the same response. All right. Looks like somebody got it already. Oh, 2 people got it already. Jeez. All right. The answers were Pedro Martinez and Mike Baseball Collector. We all shared the birthday of October 25th, and some people got Pedro except without Baseball Collector. Was it really Mike O that got it? Because I know it looks like Joseph Galanti got it. Mike probably cheated because we're friends on Facebook, so he knew what my birthday was. Juan Soto also has our birthday. I knew it was in October because I knew he turned 21 during the World Series run, but I forgot it was the 25th. Jeez. Yeah, Mike O, he shouldn't qualify for this. He should not to pressure you and put you on the spot, but maybe you should give the prize to Joseph Gallant. But anyways, Mike O, it's yours or it's yours to give away. And I believe you have to go to the Hobby Palooza website. It should be in the show notes of this video. If it's not now, it will be in the one that I upload. And you find out how to enter in a form or something. And that's how you figure out how to claim your prize. All right. This might be the last card. Actually, you know what? Let's do something a little lower end. We got a lot of Vlad Guerreros. These are the US ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Vlad Jr. rookies. These are not gradable, or you could send them, but you probably won't get a PSA or in anything 9. Probably like 8.5s, 9 if you get lucky, but certainly not much better. So that is again the US 1 base rookie, and that's 1, 2, 3, 5 copies. Very interesting, Aaron. I did go to high school with somebody with the last name Pacheco. Is Blue Jacket going to Chicago? What's going on, Trevor? Thanks for joining. Oh, with the giveaway winner? Is that what you're asking, Tampa home investors? If that's the case, then Mike I had winning, but he's kind of a friend of mine, so he might have had an unfair advantage. So Joseph would have been number 2, but Joseph might be more eligible for that prize. Yeah, that's right. So in 5 minutes, or maybe even right now, they're doing the wrap up. That's gonna be on the Bench Clear channel. So definitely tune in for that. That should be interesting. They've had a slew of great guests throughout this entire event. So they've done, again, a great job putting this on. This is the second time they've done this Hobby Palooza, and I feel very grateful to be included as part of this. Anybody else hear an echo? That's on me. All right, Blue Jacket is going to Chicago. All right, this will be the last auction. And it looks like we're $11 to Caleb Sports Cards. This is a 5-card lot. Yeah, Rosemont feels pretty isolated from the rest of Chicago, pretty segregated. As long as you stay in that area, and or right outside, perhaps. I'm not familiar with the area right outside, but I know Rosemont itself is very safe and isolated from the rest of Chicago. And I've been to Chicago a few times, north side, south side. Yeah, Trevor. I'm not sure what the Soto went for. I think the high hundreds. Actually, I can verify that. $185. $12 for the Vlads. Seems like a good deal. And for those that won that haven't paid yet, just reach out to me at the end of the auction and I'll give you instructions. High bid is 15 on the Vlads. Thanks, Bink. $17 to Bowman 51. What's going on, JY? Thanks for joining. Are you going to the National, JY? Sounds good. Sounds good, Joseph. Appreciate it. All right. And the Vlad lot is sold to Bowman 51. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Make sure to hit up our party at the National at the Lowe's Hotel Friday, July 30th for the last time, 8 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. Please go to the National if you're on the fence, if you're able to go, or if this is going to be your first opportunity to go. It's an experience that any collector, investor, or flipper should experience. It's just amazing. So thanks again for joining. Make sure to tune into Bench Clear Media's wrap up. And thank you, Bench Clear, Mike, Ty, etc., for allowing me to be part of this once again. Thanks, guys. And thanks for participating in the auction. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Take care, guys.